Hello and welcome to the T Tunnel podcast. Today I'm joined by Barca. Hello, Barca.
I
And I am Daan. And we're going to talk and theorize and ask questions to each other and whatever. We're just going to ramble. So enjoy our rambles. Barca, how have you been? What have you done
tired.
today?
Nothing. I had wrote a law final, ended up not going well. So that's great. I might have to rewrite it again, but I might just leave it. So yeah.
Happens.
Then yeah. What about you?
That's what retakes are for, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, resits, you call it in English. So,
you do.
yeah, I've been working on school. I actually finished my resume because I have to search for jobs now since I graduated. So I've been doing that and not much else because I made it a late one. I slept at like half four, so eh, it's a bit. I'm just awake.
You're
So
so lucky.
yeah, I am
I want.
quite lucky.
You are.
Yeah, yeah. And talking about lucky, what would make you a lucky person if you'd obtain what in your life?
If I would obtain what, I
Yeah.
would nothing. Nothing that I can obtain can make me lucky. I don't think nothing you obtain is with luck. That's a weird
No,
way to
it's
say it.
not like a rabbit's foot or like luck in the sense of I just feel lucky. Like we call it in Dutch, we say
Mm,
geluk, and geluk just means luck, but not in the sense of gambling and RNG.
but like happiness in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know. We
yeah.
have it. Yeah, we have a similar word for it. Well, I think
What's it in Czech?
Jeski. I
Oh,
think it's Jeski. I'm not sure. Don't
jet
ask me
ski.
about these things. Jeski. But yeah. Well, I guess in that case, when I don't know, wake up and I feel lucky, I think it's when I experience something like fun with friends, or yeah, sometimes just when I drink a lot of tea and like watch the stars. You
Yeah,
vibe, but then you're kind of like, oh shit, this world isn't actually that bad. It can be fun. So I guess that's when I feel lucky. I don't get this feeling a lot when I get like big things. I enjoy the little things, and that's when I realize that, oh, this is actually quite nice, and yeah.
yeah. Okay, so just like living in the moment and experiencing just a feeling of something greater, because like looking at the stars might like create that kind of feeling inside of you, like
Yeah.
there's more to this, and at the same time just being in this world. So you
Yeah,
don't
in a
use it as an
way.
escape, because I see stars in the background. You have a starry blanket, and I see like a painting in the corner.
Yes,
So you
yes,
like the stars and you like the universe.
yes, I love it. It's too great.
What do you like about it?
Everything, and the fact that it's so big. Or I don't
Yeah,
even know how to explain it. It's the universe. It's so. I feel like you can get overwhelmed really easily here, and everything moves so quickly. But when you stop and look at the sky, it doesn't matter if even if it's like nighttime or not, and you look up, you kind of feel a little safer is the wrong word to use,
yeah,
but you feel more like chill about everything, even if it's something really bad that just happened. It's like, but we're literally on a floating rock, and there's so many really interesting things happening in the universe and so many very beautiful things. I feel like you can find beauty in it very quickly, which is why I painted a lot, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I like it for that reason too. And I think there's also something like ominous, something mysterious, something that can't be explained, and it's just like dimensions, how it can go to the left and to the right, to the front and to the back, and then have like a third dimension. But if it works in two ways, then time does that too. So I always ponder like we might be experiencing time as we move forward in time, but at the same time it might be different somewhere else in the universe where maybe time is changed by a black hole or a wormhole, if that even exists. it's
Time is a
it's
social construct. It's
Oh, I like that statement. I don't know if I agree though, but it's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess the way you view time, because obviously you're gonna age differently, and I mean, you've probably seen Interstellar, right? You can tell that
Oh,
that's the easiest way to
best
explain
movie.
it. It's just
Yeah.
I would disagree, but okay.
As someone who likes mystery and stars and such,
Yeah.
you uh,
I
okay.
mean, not I have seen better movies. I think it's a great movie, and the way it's filmed, and the
Hmm.
soundtrack is so good. Like the soundtrack
Uh-huh.
is
Yeah.
is is, is amazing. But I have seen better movies. Um,
Okay. So
yeah,
so
that's
what movie would be better than Interstellar? Because I don't agree. But
any Lord of the Rings,
oh.
any duh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I think there are other movies that have a same kind of vibe that could also fit into there, but I cannot think of any. But
Like the
yeah.
fantasy kind of vibe, or
Not even just I guess the way the style of filmmaking and storytelling. It doesn't have to be like fantasy or something. I'm not really sure how to explain it well. But I would definitely not think it's the best movie. And honestly, I don't think Lord of the Rings is the best movie, but it is in my heart. Like
okay.
objectively, I don't think it's the best movie objectively in the world, but I think it's up there and it's great. And they won so many Oscars. Like I think I think it's better than Interstellar. But we do not want to get into my love for Lord of the Rings. We would be here for hours,
No, okay.
days, weeks.
So what would you get? What would you want to get into?
Like, oh yeah. Can I ask questions? I'm a
Yeah,
question
sure,
master. So, okay.
sure. Hit me.
Oh, well, honestly, I want to just jump into it. I want to know what advice would you give to your younger self? And I would not say like 15, like, 15, 16, 17, like my age. That's no, no, no. Like way younger. Or during a time where you have experienced something like bad, where when you were younger, what would you say to yourself? How would you comfort yourself and stuff like that? 'Cause I'm very
This is
curious and
like
like,
such a shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race, but
it
uh,
is.
yeah, yeah, they do that in like
I
the
haven't
final
seen it.
episode. They say, "What would you say to young Quincy?" And it's like, "Oh, don't give up."
Oh.
But yeah, I'd probably say the same. And you would probably, uh, Dan, you are gonna see some bad times. You're gonna get bullied. Um, you're gonna feel like you're weird, and you are. But you're gonna find out that being weird is great in a world of redundancy and boring people. You're gonna stand out and you're gonna create great things. And I think that's the important thing. You're gonna express yourself, and it's gonna be wow. What would you say to your younger self, even younger than you
That
are?
is like that's like the best answer I think anyone could give. Or like I didn't expect it to be that good. So I had like, I thought about it a little bit on my way home. I would say for me, I don't know. I would say stop regretting shit. It's not
Oh,
worth it. Like even at a younger age, I regretted a lot of things and I also wanted to turn back time and change it. Right now, I look back at it and know every single like mistake that I have done,
mhm.
like I've learned from. And I feel like maybe my advice would be to learn from it a little more, to take it, to not punish myself as much for the mistakes because I was raised that way. Mistakes
Yeah,
are bad. You can, I'm still dealing with that. I just feel like I should view mistakes as an opportunity to grow as a person and not punish myself for it. And also stay strong and then don't get bad people get to you because there is a lot of bad people in this world. And try to just be the best. Don't compare yourself to other people because that's, you know, everything's fake. So just
fake. Okay.
I feel like especially when you would can when we had the conversation before about Snapchat and stuff and
Hmm.
how it can really, mess with people. That's like the thing that I would say. Social media is fake. No
Oh,
matter what,
yeah.
it's fake and that's the thing that you see most in people. Even if you meet someone, like even your classmate or something, you don't see the bad times, you just see their success and you compare that success. And I think you just shouldn't do that. You have to realize that everyone's human, including your parents. And I know that's a hard realization, but that's like once you get past that point, it's, a big step, I guess.
Yeah, because I think like especially the parents part, you kind of like look up to your parents as a child, um, and they kind of like demand respect. They're like, "Oh, I'm an authority figure. You better
Yeah.
respect me." And they're like they put themselves as kind of godlike beings. Of course, I can't talk for like every parent. My parents have been like gracious, but they've also had that like authority thing, like I'm your mother, so respect me. That's not an argument. So I like that the more you develop your body and your mind, and you eventually hit puberty. Like I love puberty. Of course, it's it's such a rebellious phase, and like you fight against everything. But that energy is really good in like developing your own opinions and your own vision, and like seeing that well your parents are just people too, and of course they have this power over you because you live in their house, but at the same
Hmm.
time you see them as not well the persons who dictate your life as such. So the
Hmm.
more like you get into puberty, you're like, oh, parents, fuck them. And then the more old you get, you're like, oh, parents, thank you. You're grateful because obviously there's bad parts because my parents gave me a lot of freedom, um, which you would say is good, but there's always
Yeah.
like an offside to things, because I am now like, yeah, what should I do? I like a lot of things, and I can't really force. I can't focus on one thing because I have the freedom to just do whatever I want, and that really comes with something else. Where I think if people, if parents are well controlling, or they are like, yeah, you should like become a CEO or you should become a manager or get a top function in a job, uh, you're more tempted to work and achieve, but at the same time you might not enjoy life as much because you're constantly busy with the next achievement, right? So how would you think about that? How do you think your
Hmm.
parents influence you as a person?
Well, I feel like I don't know. I disagree with the fact that the freedom isn't good. Past a certain age, when you know your kid isn't gonna do like a lot of stupid things and is actually responsible to a point, the freedom is really what you need.
Yeah,
Since I didn't get any freedom and still don't have any freedom, I feel like a lot of the times I kind of lay in bed and I'm just like, what is life? What am I like? What am I here to do? Because I never had the freedom to find myself in a way, or you're
yeah,
not like finding yourself, more like explore myself and what I can do and cannot do, because I was always put in this certain box that okay, you're gonna do this, you can't do this, and you cannot do this. And even your parents, they come up and tell you, they're like, yeah, you're not good at maths, and they kind of push you down and put this in the box. Okay, now you're in this box of person that's not good at math and a person who's good at English, so you're going to focus on English. I mean, that's like a small part of it, but I feel like if your parents give you freedom, it's way better. I mean, you might get in a lot of trouble. You will make a lot of mistakes, but that's how a person grows. And if you're
yeah,
punished and always put in a certain path, once you're out of this like grasp of your parents, you're going to be completely lost. That's like one of my biggest fears, actually going out in the real world where no one tells me what I'm supposed to do next, and trying to like figure out what I actually love doing because I never had time and still can't fully like figure that out at this point.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm. That's a good point you're making. Like I think
Yeah.
the freedom, yeah, is a good thing indeed because you fall and you stumble, and that's what makes you human and develop and grow. And I think if what you say, your parents say you're bad at math, then you're obviously not going to be a physicist, for example, right? Because they
Yeah.
determine your reality in a way. You well, if you live in a house with them, you kind of like follow what they say because you think they have all the knowledge. I don't know, of course it's more subtle. It's not like you obviously don't believe everything your parents say is the right thing and they know like everything. But in a way, you gotta like listen to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is true. And I mean they control the stuff as well. They can't it's yeah, I feel like just having freedom is way better even if you make mistakes, cuz you at least find yourself, even if you have a lot of things you really really like, it's I think better than just being told that you can't do this and that you're not going to do this. Because yeah, I don't know, it's just you can do whatever. But when you have a certain path, you cannot do whatever even if you loved doing that. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, I have a different problem. I also have a lot of things that I love doing, and I just don't know what to do. But like, you have the freedom to do it. I don't have the freedom to do it. Or like, I'm not saying it like you as a person, obviously, but like in general, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Do you have another question prepared?
I want to know what role you would play in a zombie apocalypse. Like, I want to know if
Oh.
a zombie apocalypse was a thing, what would you do? Um, and like everything. How would you? What kind of gang would you be in, or like what weapon would you choose,
Oh.
or would you even fight? Would you just die because you're like, I don't want to live in this? Because that would be my answer. I'd just be like, why everyone in these zombie movies have so much like will to live? I just want to die, you know. But I want to know what your opinion is. And if let's say dying wasn't an option, like what would you do? Because I would choose death.
Yeah, but then you just roam around as a zombie eating other people. You really want that?
No, no, I'd, like, kill myself, like, overdose on something or
Yeah.
gas. That's super, like,
And then you'll become
quick.
a zombie who is addicted to sleeping pills.
Yeah,
Sleeping
I don't
pills.
I don't want to become a zombie because obviously when you're a zombie, you're still kind of half alive, half I just wanna die. I don't want any
Okay.
part in this at all, you know?
Okay.
But if
Yeah.
I couldn't, then yeah.
So is is
So
is this in a scenario that the radio is just on and it's like, oh wow, there's a zombie apocalypse happening. This is not a joke. There is a zombie apocalypse happening, and it's like panic setting in, and you're like, and you see people roaming outside, and they're there roaming outside. That's the kind of scenario, and
I think the
or is it,
scenario is like a couple of weeks into it, actually.
ooh,
Not just like what would you do if like suddenly there was a zombie apocalypse? Because you would probably like do the basic stuff like run to the grocery store or something. But I
yeah,
want to know like what kind of group of people would you be in, or if you would be with any people, or
okay, okay,
yeah.
um, yeah, I'd have like Uh, oof, it's a hard question. So I'd have like a varied group, of course, because you don't want a lot of conflict, because conflict leads to death. Um, in a zombie apocalypse kind of scenario, I think. So I probably have someone who's strong, someone who's intelligent. Well, I'm there to just make jokes, of course, to keep the situation light, because of course everybody dies outside. Should probably make some jokes about that and keep the situation light, because otherwise you're just gonna hammer each other. But yeah, I'd just have like a small group. I think like 4 people. I'd probably have someone who's a farmer or knows how to grow crops or know how to get seeds from plants, like a botanical kind of person.
Yeah,
So we have like a mix of
like that have
know-how.
survival skills.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
so I don't have to learn it, of course. Of course, you can learn everything nowadays, but I guess
yeah.
Google would be overrun with zombies too. So I mean, all the data centers, so all the internet would still be alive because the data
But
centers don't get
electricity.
eaten by zombies. Yeah, but how would the electricity die? Of course, like if it's just airborne and like someone in a nuclear plant just just like dies and becomes a zombie and it's like, oh, and a like actual meltdown. I mean, I never
I
got
don't think
that
you'd
in the
have
movies.
access to electricity. I don't think since it
Okay.
would be such and everyone would like go into camps of just, there wouldn't be that many people surviving. I don't think there would be people going work to work. If it was an apocalypse and zombies were everywhere, why, Plus you wouldn't have access to it.
Hmm. Okay. So it's a Walking Dead kind of scenario. We take
I
that.
would say, unless
Yeah.
you want a different one, but either way, what weapons would you choose, or like how would you try to survive? We already know the people you'd be like with, but
Um.
what kind of state would we find you in after the month and a half or something?
I mean, I probably have a knife or like I think a machete or like a big shinken, like a samurai sword.
Hmm.
Um. I probably have that because you have a lot of reach. You could just decapitate some zombies. They don't get too close, and I mean it's pretty similar to a knife, I reckon. I probably have that because guns are allowed, and they will just attract more zombies. So if it's in the Walking Dead kind of scenario, zombies get attracted to noise, which is weird because hearing and shit. But okay. Um,
Yeah, I agree. It's weird, but yeah.
so yeah, probably like a big sword, and my companions would probably have a hammer or a club or a hoe. I don't fucking know. Probably something like that, like
Oh,
melee combat.
yeah,
Yeah. Like what would
cool.
you have?
I would well, since I do Tong Bei right now and we are training with well, we call them Bobo sticks,
What's
but
Tong
soon
Bei?
enough, it's like a style of kung fu.
Okay.
So, but I'm training with Bobo sticks, and later on, those will become daggers. So obviously, I would have daggers, and I want to get to a point where I'm also comfortable using a sword. So I would probably just take daggers and a sword around because also you want to feel like super epic. And if it were to be like medieval times, I would take a bow. But like when it comes to this, I don't think a bow would be helpful. It'd just be kind of aesthetic, and it would
Yeah.
be extra weight and you know.
Reloading
So
all the
probably
time.
daggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, daggers and a sword, I guess. And if I were to have a walking stick, then I would just make sure it was my staff, so then I could hit a bunch of people with my staff as well, because that's kind of useful too.
Okay.
That'd be have a lot of stuff. But I also would want to die, so if that was not an option, I would do that. But I would like kill myself right as I would hear like, oh, there's a zombie apocalypse, everyone hide or something.
Yeah, but what would your group look like?
My group, well, I would most likely be alone, but not by choice. I just don't think I would be able to like find anyone, but I feel like I could survive alone. If I were to not be alone, I would probably um I yeah, no, probably my brother. Honestly, like my brother and I would just feels the best. I did actually we do this like quiz with my close friends and
Hmm.
one of the questions is who is most likely to survive a zombie apocalypse and I was always the one who won. So I think I'm kind of like safe by a lot actually too, which is
A
awesome. It's
suicidal
a weird flex.
survivor. I
Yes.
mean,
But if I were to survive,
yeah.
I mean if one of us would, it would be me. So but yeah, I would pick my brother. I feel like there is no one else who I could survive it. My sister would tag along, but she's a kid, you know, she wouldn't be able to handle this. It's like
Mhm.
anyone who isn't that strong, like mentally especially, it's gonna be hard in this situation, which I know I'll have a problem with.
Mhm.
But you know, having someone stronger that's also caring and not cold is good when you're trying to survive. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, I think you
I
need cold
th-
people in your clique to.
I'm cold enough. Like honestly,
Ah,
I think.
you're like
Hey,
full of empathy. You need like a Leo or
oh,
someone else who doesn't really
just
care about
wait
empathy,
until we
because there's
have
probably
drama.
gonna be like some child, some fucking zombie child being there, and they want to eat your leg and you're just like, I don't want to kill a kid, because if you have a group full of empaths, they're not gonna kill a kid. And when you have
I would
somebody
kill
who's
the
like,
zombie
oh
kid.
well, fuck that shit. Okay. Okay.
But like only if it was a zombie and clearly a zombie. And I
Yeah.
would imagine it like being ugly in a way, but if it were to just be yeah, I would probably if there were like 20 zombies attacking a little kid, I would like run in there and try to save it. Or maybe I would just well, I would want to, but I think I'm a coward, so I don't think I would actually like have the guts to do it. But I would want to, and I would feel bad about it. Yeah. But in certain situations, I am very cold, and I don't think we've met in that kind of where I was in that kind of mental state, or where I had to act like that. Which I think the zombie apocalypse, I probably would. Yeah.
Hmm. And how would
Mhm.
you cope with like seeing your sister or your brother out there as a zombie? Like, would you kill them or would you let them roam free?
I think if they were to get, let's say, like you get bit and you become a
Yeah.
zombie, as soon as they would do that, I would kill them.
Okay.
Um, if they were to be a zombie and I would recognize them as a zombie, I would probably I mean, I wouldn't have problems killing them because that would like quote unquote like end their suffering, you
Hmm.
know. So I don't think I'd have issues with that, but I would be hesitant if they were close and they were attacking me in like a half kind of a zombie, half human state or something like that. Then I'd probably run, because that's must be extremely like emotionally taxing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
What would you do though? Oh, I
I
mean, yeah.
probably let
What
them
is
walk, you know. They're I don't know. They're not my family anymore. Or I'll do something like Michonne does and just cut their mouths off and then keep them on a chain behind me and have my loved ones with me all the time. And maybe the pheromones shield the zombies as well, you know, if it was that kind of
Hmm.
situation. But at the same time, would I like to enslave my family? Eh, I'd probably go with the choice of like killing them, I guess. But I don't know. I've never killed someone, so I don't know how that whole
You
situation would
haven't?
feel.
What?
No,
You haven't killed anyone?
but no,
Huh?
no. So I couldn't even imagine like if there would be zombies. Sure, I can say I would take my sword and just decapitate them, but they're people,
Yeah.
right? They were people once, and I don't have empathy for the big social group. Like obviously I have more empathy for people I know. So
Yeah.
I feel like there would be some distance, and if it comes to saving my own ass or getting eaten by some dude, I would kill the dude probably. I don't know
Yeah.
how your body would react. Like you of course have fight, flight, or fight. A fight,
Yeah.
flight, or fright.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, or fright.
Oh yeah.
So you are like
Makes sense. Yeah,
you
yeah, I
you
know
you
what that
shock.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go. Now you know. Yeah. Because
yeah,
because
thank
what do
you.
you think you would respond to? Like, what would your first
Honestly,
reaction be? Fight, flight, or fright?
I would. Oh my God. See, that's like a. Because I've been in, obviously not like someone trying to kill me, but I was in like a similar situation that wasn't like pleasant, and I was
Mm-hmm.
just completely frozen. But
Yeah.
that wasn't because I wasn't in danger. I was just like super confused. And I feel like if someone were to attack me as a zombie, and especially in the first couple of weeks, I would like run as quickly as possible. If I couldn't run, I would probably just kind of try to fight, but run. I wouldn't try to like kill it. I would just try to,
Yeah.
you know, somehow escape. But I feel like after a certain amount of time, I would probably just kill them, and I wouldn't, after you get used to it, I would be
Yeah.
fine with killing them. Or maybe like getting into a fight once you're more comfortable with your weapon and stuff like that. But I'd probably run, and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't thought of that.
I
That's
think
true.
I think fright is like the first response. Like something happens, shock. That's the first response. But if you're used to that thing, you don't become shocked anymore. Like the more you see zombies and they're dying and you realize they were once people, you're more like, well, they were once people. I think that like that first
Yeah.
impulse in your head just becomes fight because you gotta adapt to the situation. I don't know if evolution like helps that like in such cases. Like, would it just adapt to that kind of situation? Because you see that in Walking Dead, it's just like, oh, poof, 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 poof. I don't care that they were all humans once.
Yeah.
They are
I
a
don't think
threat to me, so I'll
evolution is
kill
the
them.
right word, but you would definitely get used to it. And if you're born in that environment, then you would be like used to it. But I don't think evolution helps. But you become more numb to killing people. And I think honestly, if
Yeah.
someone is a zombie, I wouldn't look at it from like an ethical standpoint of it being bad. Maybe that's super like controversial, and I shouldn't have
No.
said that. But if they're like zombies, there would be a different thing if you were to like enslave the zombies. But then again, they're technically not alive. So like, that's like a debate we could have, and I wouldn't be able to pick a side, but I don't think it's that bad. If it were normal humans, then
Mhm.
I would definitely hesitate. Even if it was some kind of like open war of some sort, I would not hurt anyone. With zombies, it's like a different story, I'd say.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Do you have any questions? Because I'm always the one asking questions. I'm actually curious if you were to.
But
anything.
how do we segue from like zombies to something
Zombies too, whatever.
entirely? Okay, what's your favorite beverage? Yeah.
Tea. It's tea. I mean,
Okay, but it's
that's
that's not. Let's do something else than
it.
tea. Like what's your like your top three beverages?
Tea. I don't, I don't know. I'm a boring person. I would say one is tea, two is probably water. I don't drink much water. I mean, I drink a lot of water. I don't drink anything else. That's what
This
I'm trying
isn't
to say.
this isn't what do you drink most. This is what do you
No,
like
it's
most.
like what I
You
like. I like water.
oh, okay. You should,
Yeah.
okay.
That's in like if I like it, I drink it. If I don't like it, I don't drink it. Or like I don't know. So I think water is number two, and three is probably honestly coffee. Like I've been
Oh,
enjoying coffee a lot, and on Thursday I got an iced latte, even though it was like -3 outside, and that was the best cup of coffee I had. I was also on 5 hours of sleep, and I had to wake up at 5 a.m. But like I would say maybe coffee. Yeah. I
damn.
don't know. I can't think of anything else. Unless you were to count iced tea, like the ones that you get like a Lipton one or something, if you were to count it as like not tea, then it would
Yeah,
move a little bit.
I would count that as
But
not tea. Tea is
you
just
would
the
count
hot.
and a bubble tea or like boba, would you count that as tea or
No,
not tea?
no. It has
Ah, that
tea
makes it more
extract, but
complicated then.
it isn't hot water into a cup with some herb.
Well, bubble or like boba is just tea with like milk and tapioca. It's just like if you were to add milk to an Earl Grey tea, would you count that as tea? I
Yeah,
think you would.
yeah, but it no, they put bubbles in there. They're like, what the fuck?
Tapioca, but like you add milk to tea and like sugar,
Yeah, but they put
then you
like
wouldn't call
blueberry
it.
shit in there. It's more like a milkshake with
No.
tea.
No, no. I'm talking about the like just the basic boba. Like
Okay,
what I think they like use an oolong tea or I'm not actually sure with like
but
milk
it's
and
cold.
then the tapioca.
It's
It's
not.
called. Have you not? Have you ever? Oh my god, English. What about like cold brew teas? Like you can get a really good like cold brew out of Essentia, and that you would definitely classify that as a
Nah,
tea.
honey. That's like saying that iced tea is tea. It's a
It is iced tea. It's just a different temperature. Would you
no.
say iced coffee isn't
There is
coffee?
so much more in there. I'd say a tea is just a
Oh wait,
tea
iced tea.
with
Okay,
like sugar or and milk or slash and.
tea. Iced tea. Okay, there's like Lipton iced tea or like Nestea iced tea, and then there's iced tea actually like iced tea, like proper tea. And I'm talking about the proper tea. And I think boba falls into the more proper tea category.
Property.
I'm not sure with that.
Property.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Where
so
were we
your
going
top
with this?
three is now like tea, boba tea, and iced tea.
Iced tea.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow, great. It is
Yeah.
the Tea Tunnel podcast. So I mean, yeah. Now my number
Yeah,
one,
it is.
it's iced tea lemon by Westminster. Iced tea lemon by Westminster. You can buy it at the Aldi sponsor.
Yeah.
And
I was just about to say that.
it is a great iced tea because you have freeway iced tea, which you can get at the Lidl, or Lidl. And
You
you
have
know,
little
I've
in
compared
the
it. Yeah,
Netherlands?
yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a big export
Oh my
product
god, really?
from Germany, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Germany. We
like
have it
I've
too.
compared them, and Freeway just tastes not like tea. You know, compared to this iced tea
That
from
is
the
true.
Aldi, it's it like I tasted it and it was like I am actually drinking tea right now with a shit ton of sugar. But that's how I like my tea. I like it with a shit ton of sugar. So that's my go-to. Like back when I was a child, of course, it's also nostalgia. We used to have it at my uncle's. Always iced tea lemon or iced tea peach from the Aldi, and it's just mm, childhood, childhood. So that's why it tastes great.
And is it black tea or green tea? Is
It's
this
black
one
tea. It's black tea.
black tea?
Yeah,
Because Freeway black iced tea is, yeah, it doesn't taste like it, but the green version tastes at least a little bit like tea. It has the bitterness of
yeah.
green tea,
I mean
but
they
I definitely know.
yeah. I mean they say
Yeah.
it's lemonade with black tea extract. So it's you would say iced tea is not really tea, right? It's just lemonade
This
with a
iced
flavor.
tea.
I mean
Okay,
nesty and shit
we can
as well.
yeah. We can call like cold brew tea and then iced tea. But cold
Okay.
brew, because there's like a specific way you can prepare green tea, which is actually just getting ice cubes and pouring the tea leaves over it and letting the ice cubes melt, which then brews the tea leaves. And it has a specific name that starts with like a K. I don't think I can remember it, but it's cool. But no one
Okay.
cares.
Cool with a
Um,
K. That's cool.
cool with a
Okay.
K. Yeah.
My number two. Number two. My number two is cassis. I love
Who?
cassis.
What? Who?
Cassis.
What is
Cassis.
that?
It's like blue. It's blackberry. It's like blackberry. It's not blackberry
What?
because blackberry. It's blackberries. It's not blackberry. That's something else. It's blackberries. A blueberry? It's not blueberry. Anyway, it's
Black.
it's a berry soda,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh.
Have you seen it? Have you looked it up?
No. I
Okay.
still don't know the
Well,
name, or still cannot catch the name. Can you please?
Cassis.
S. Cream the something. Oh, hold up.
It's a soda.
I'm
It's a
opening
soda. So
maps.
it's a fizzy drink. Um, it's a fizzy drink. It's great. I love it. Because there's like 30 gram sugar per
Mm. Oh yeah, it
per
is
cup you
black
drink.
currant or whatever you call it.
Oh, black. Okay,
Or
okay.
that's my favorite, like juice. I like juice from that.
Ooh,
It's
yeah,
the
me
best,
too. Oh, yeah. Talk about juice. On my
right?
number three, it's probably apple juice or mango juice. Ooh, I'm stuck
Mm,
between two because apple juice is basic choice, but damn, always does good because it's basically sugar in a concentrate. I like it more when it's
yeah,
we have Flavo Sop here, and it's basically juiced apple. It's not apple concentrate and then
yeah. It's
with
like
sugar water.
yeah,
Not like that. It's actual like apples like into
yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good. So I'd go with like
Mm,
that or that. I'd probably go for mango because mango is everything. It's the best fruit. It's the best fruit. So yeah.
that's
Great.
cool. Yeah, I forgot about juices completely, but yeah, I would still probably not change my rating. I like the
Teetotal.
IKEA apple cider, the non-alcoholic one. That's a good one. It's
Oh,
tastes so good.
okay.
But yeah, it's I only drink it sometimes because I don't like bubbly drinks that much, or like it takes me so long to drink it. I just can't with
Yeah.
like sparkling
It's like so
things.
fizzy in your nose
So.
too. It's yeah, it's
Oh yeah, when it like comes out, like the air
uh
it comes out of your
and
nose.
especially if you
Yeah.
laugh while you drink a fizzy drink, it's like
Oh
40%
my
extra
god.
chance that it comes streaming out of your
Yeah.
nose, you know? It's great.
Yeah.
And you have this Sprite banana challenge, which is so weird that you like eat a whole banana and then drink Sprite and then you just vomit.
Oh
You
my
know, I don't
god.
get how that works, but at the same time, of course it works like that. You have a lot of carbonated fucking shit inside of your tummy. Yeah.
I don't understand why people do that, like willingly want to throw up.
Anything
That's
for the
so
socials and for the exposure. So yeah.
oh, I don't get people like that at all. I
I don't
honestly
get people.
up to this up to this day still, I mean, maybe like a couple of months ago, it was the first time when I threw up and I didn't cry. And so like at the
Oh
age of
yeah,
16, I
but
would cry.
it's
And
a
I was like,
bodily function too. Like when you throw up, it's like teary eyes. It's not necessarily oh I cried and
well, no,
I
I
vomited and I
actually like
failed, but
cry. Well,
oh
it's like because I have it connected to having really bad
hmm
headaches and migraines, and one of the things that happens a lot of the times is that I just like vomit, and then sometimes like I don't eat anything all day, so it just hurts. I'm just
hmm
kind of crying with a really bad headache on the like bathroom floor at like 3 o'clock. Which obviously you should eat something, but you throw that up. But you need painkillers as well, so I'm just there, kind of like dead. It's a whole thing. That's the only reason why I cry is this. Like that's the main. If I cry, it's usually this. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's great though
But
that you
actually, the
cry
last
due to
time,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it doesn't work. It doesn't release the pain that you
Mm,
have. The emotional pain.
yeah.
And the last time I cried like that was October. So yeah. What about you? I don't know about what about you and these kind of emotions because you feel like you feel you're very open and happy and obviously like sass and you get a little bit like angry at times, but I never have actually experienced you talk about feeling sad in like a normal. Okay, normal is a subjective thing. In a more serious way.
Okay.
I
Last
use my
topic.
hands a lot there.
Last topic
Yeah.
because
Yes, yes,
one,
yes.
I hate this topic because it's a negative emotion. Two, it's about time. But
Yeah.
I would say like I cried this morning actually. Um, because it was about some financial shit. Like I hate it when people we have this thing called here called tikkie or betaalverzoek, where it's just like a payment request. Like of course you like someone buys something like groceries you eat together and then they send a payment request for the groceries, right? And oftentimes
Yeah.
you have it just people splitting the bill like, oh, I paid $20, there were four people, well, that's $5 per person. But like in my head it's so unfair because I don't have a job right now, so my financial situation is different. um, and I when I have a payment request, I calculate what of the things did the other people eat. Like if an avocado is $1 and they ate like 4/5 of it, like I sent a tikkie for like 80 cents. Like I'm very picky about it because I don't want to let
Yeah.
people pay for my garlic powder that I'm gonna use for the next 2 years. So like I was like sad about that because I don't feel understood in that because I laid it out in front of my friends and they were like, well, yeah, you're just it felt to me like they were just saying, yeah, well, don't be such a hard ass about it. Just I would split the bill as well. And I just didn't feel understood, so I cried. But like normally, I see like anger and sadness as negative emotions, whatever the fuck that might mean, because it doesn't exist. Negative emotions, you just have this wide range of emotions, and that makes you human. So it's hard for me to acknowledge those. So sometimes I have a moment where I just summon my cry with my like blue shit playlist. So it's like sadness, sad songs.
Mm.
So it can like get my crying out. But like normally I'm like, eh, I don't want to do it often. But if I watch a good movie, I cry too. Like if I watch Soul by Disney, sponsor, um, it's about
Yes, we're
like
sponsored by
yeah,
Disney.
yeah, it's like experiencing life and experiencing the joy out of it and finding the meaning of life as a soul. And it just really hit me or something, and then I cry. It's like a cry of
Mm.
beauty. So you have like different forms of crying. So the sad
Yeah.
ones where I'm just like I kind of don't let through. Like when I have a breakup, for example, it's kind of hard for me to truly accept that. So like inside of my head, I'm like, oh, even though I might feel like I won't out that. Also because I talk a lot, but also because people want to comfort you, and I talked about it a couple of days ago. Like it's hard for me to express my emotions when there's people there because they want to comfort you and be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be all right. And I hate those kind of things. Like it's gonna be all right. I know it's gonna be all right. I'm just in an emotion right now, and like what you're saying is that I can't feel this emotion. So probably across the years people have done that, like it's gonna be okay and it's gonna be great and don't worry, like all those fucking kind of like
Yeah.
gaslighting kind of sentences have kind of led me to this point where I'm like, it's not okay to be sad because apparently it's got to be okay. Like it's
Yeah.
not
That is.
okay when you cry, it's okay when you cry. So I'm trying to get that kind of sense.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I have the same thing,
Okay.
unfortunately, but it's even worse, like, I don't cry I can't even make myself cry when I listen to sad songs, and I have so many
Oh,
awesome sad songs. I just have this,
ooh,
like,
send me some.
pressure built up
Yeah.
in me, and that's, like, it. That's where it all stops, and yeah, it's annoying, and also, I hate crying in front of people, and I just wanna have this big silence, like, this isn't a pity party, and I don't want people to, like, feel bad for me, even when
Hmm.
I'm sharing something personal. I just don't want that to be the thing, and then it gets to your head. You're just kinda like, "What? Are they doing this because they feel bad for me for when I, like, shared a certain thing?"
Yeah.
Is yeah, there's a lot when it comes to emotions like that, but that's cool. And is it so how often would you say you cry? I'm so curious because for me, it's, like, twice a year, maybe.
What? Well, depends. If it's a
Yeah.
movie cry, depends on the movie.
All
All
cries,
cries.
man.
I think
Yeah, for
like
me, all cries. Oh, wait, no, hold
at,
up. When I
at
have
the
migraines, then
least
it's not
like
all cries, but
20 times a year, probably. Sometimes I
that's
cry of like happiness too. That I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a beautiful world. And so yeah, I count that as a cry too. And if I have like 3 breakups a year, yeah, well, you have like 4 more cries per breakup. So yeah, that's great. Anyway, so that concludes the Tea Tunnel podcast. Thank you all for
Yep,
listening, and we'll see you next time.
yep.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.